Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Saturday Anything Goes. I hope that you're having a great Saturday. It has been just beautiful here. So, boy, holidays have just kind of been whizzing by, haven't they? I guess when things are kind of out of whack, that can happen. And I was thinking, so we've got Memorial Day? Yeah, Memorial Day coming up in a couple weeks. And then shortly after that, we'll have Father's Day. So, I thought it would be a good time to get on the Father's Day card making bandwagon. Now, a lot of times I like to take and customize pieces of home decor to give as gifts. And I'll give an example. You can see it right here. This is actually it's heavy. It's a James Adler candle that I got in a lifestyle subscription box. And it's just on the outside. Let me bring in the lid and I'll show you. It was just this color. So kind of plain Jane. But you open it up, it's got this really pretty blue color that almost looks like a cross between, I don't know, Seaside Spray and Balmy Blue. And I thought, my husband loves candles. He loves to just have them sit on his desk and just smell them without burning them. So I thought I would go ahead and customize by using some of our Sailing Home Suite products. And so the DSP comes from there. Almost everything we're going to use comes from there except for this ribbon, but I thought it made a really nice touch. So I've got that pretty much done. But I need a card to go with it. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Let me move this out of the way so I don't knock it over. That thing is heavy, but it smells so good. Be sure and say hello. Hi, Kathy. Happy Saturday to you. Thanks so much for joining. Let me just enlarge my screen so I can see anybody who comes on. So, we're going to go ahead and make a Father's Day card using the stamp set and the dies from that bundle. So it's going to be really not too complicated, but I really wanted to keep with the anchor theme, and there's a perfect sentiment in there. Let hope be your anchor through the storms of life, and we have a nice anchor stamp. But when I went through the DSP, we didn't have any DSP that was just anchors. So, you know me, what I don't have, I make. And I thought what we would do is do a little heat embossing. So, not sure how this is going to go. I don't really have it all planned out. But we're going to start with our card base in Balmy Blue to match the stripes in the DSP on the candle. And it's my typical top folding card, 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded at 5 1/2. So we'll move this aside for now, because what I want to do is take this piece of Night of Navy, and I thought, where's my anchor stamp? Right there. I'm going to heat emboss anchors on this piece of Night of Navy, and I don't know as far as, what size we'll finally end up using. So this piece is cut the same as the card front, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll just trim it down to size, and then we'll do our sentiment panel on top of that. Now I vacillated back and forth between, do I want to do silver anchors? Do I want to do white anchors? But the silver is, I think, really too shiny. Most anchors that I've seen on ships are pretty kind of a pewter gray. And so the silver wasn't really what I was looking for. And the white, no, that wasn't going to work either. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to use our Versamark to stamp our anchor. And we're going to heat emboss with clear. Ta-da! And we're going to see how that looks. It'll be very subtle, but a little shiny, so it should stand out. So let's get to it. I've got my embossing buddy here. You always want to start with a surface that is free of any static or fingerprints, oils, any of that. You'll get the very best result. And got my Versamark ink. I've got my heat tool ready to go over here on the side. So let's get to stamping. I've got a piece of scrap paper because I always like to carry my design images off the edge of the page to make it look very organic. And the Versamark is really, really sticky. So I thought what I would do is I'm going to do just one side of this kind of at a time. Make sure I'm turning things, having my anchor on and off. It's a little bit difficult to see sometimes, but you know, we'll manage. All right, so I've got, I'll put a couple more in there. That way we can do half at a time. So let's do this image this way, and then I want one there. So let's start with that and see what we do. See how it shows up. It may be a total disaster, but you know, if it is, we'll just turn it over and rethink it. So I've got my clear embossing powder, and boy, I haven't used this in a while. I sure hope it's still good. I don't know, does embossing powder ever go bad? I love using this method, though, of stamping in Versamark and then covering it with clear embossing powder. Just gives it a nice look. Okay, I think we've got pretty good coverage there. Just close this up for the moment. Bring in my cheese board, my little bitty cheese board. Keep my little fingers protected. And we'll go ahead and heat emboss this. Now I'm going to turn her on underneath the desk. Always best to let it heat up just a little bit before you bring it to the paper, and that way you end up not having to hold it on the images that long. And I've got a few stray bits of that powder, but you know, I'm just not going to worry about it. It can do what it wants to do as long as my embossing powder turns glossy. And there it goes. Woo! So I guess it's still good. Boy, heating up the gun before you bring it to the paper really helps things go smoothly. That way you don't end up spending a lot of time on any one image, and you lessen the risk of burning either your paper or the embossing powder. Yes, embossing powder can burn. Okay, so we've got that much done. Take it off of this. Let it cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to turn it around this way, and we will finish up with our design. I also like doing half at a time because then I can really see that I'm not getting too matchy-matchy with things. I want this guy coming off this edge. So we're just going to make things look nice. And I think I'm actually going to turn this guy upside down. Nothing wrong with that. Now bear in mind, all of this isn't going to show because we will have our design panel taking up some of the space. Oh, I probably could have gotten a couple more in there. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it. That'll be covered up anyway. So let's hit this with some more powder. Oops, wrong way. Look at me. I'm doing the part that's already done. Hello. Here we go. This is better. Ooh, I'm making a big mess tonight. That's all right. Can always clean up a mess. Got a little bit. If you do have too much, you can take, I've got my trusty little paintbrush here. The bristles are just stiff enough to allow me to get in there without leaving scratch marks. Made a big mess there. Alright, I think we're going to let that go. And let me put the rest of this in here. Okie doke. A little more heat embossing. The powder went everywhere. Here we go. I'm just using the edge of my spoon to kind of hold that edge down to make sure that the heat reached it evenly. Alright. There we go. You know, my embossing powder may be getting a little bit old because it's just the tiniest bit bubbly in places. So, time to get some new, I think. But for tonight, it should be fun. Alright. So I can put my toys away. Ooh, that's hot. I'm going to let that cool down. And we'll get on with the rest of the card. So I'll bring out my card, and I thought we could have, and I'm liking actually the bottom part of that has a bit more design on it. Like I said, a lot of it's not going to show, and we are going to trim some off. But that's going to go there, and then on the front we will have a small sentiment panel. This is going to be a very, very simple Father's Day card. So let me do that. Oh, good grief, I got that stuff everywhere. I have to be vacuuming in here tonight, and you know, it looks like I didn't quite get all that, so hang on. I see a couple areas that look like they might not have completely melted. Okay. That makes me happier. Alright, so let's bring out our trimmer. Put that away. And I said I like the bottom, so we're going to bring that over. And let's cut this at, instead of 5 1/4, I don't want too much of the blue showing through because I really want you to be able to see the anchors. So let's go ahead and take it to 5 3/8. So 5 3/8 is right there. And we'll make our first cut. So if I do that, then I want my width to be 4 1/8. So right about there. I like this side better. Always take a moment to look and see when you are working with designs that you're optimizing your DSP or your created DSP. Alright, so we've got that. And this is going to go on there. And then our design panel is going to go on top of that. But you know, before I glue that down, let me show you the size. I'm thinking our design panel is going to be about that big. And that gives me plenty of room because I'm just going to have a couple of images on there. And lets me see plenty of the anchors. But I think before I glue down this part, because I'm going to pop this up. I want to make this look just a little bit more nautical. So where is it, Linda? What did you do with it? I have some twine somewhere. And if you see me fumbling around, yeah, let me show you what happened a couple days ago. That's what's left of my glasses. So I am currently wearing, I never throw out glasses. I'm currently wearing a pair that is 8 years old. Yeah, so it could be right in front of me. My twine could be right in front of me, and I just wouldn't even see it. Let me see if I've got some in my drawer. I know I brought it out. Let's put this up for a minute. Where's my little spool? Let it go away. Okay, this is embarrassing. I swear. Oh, there it is, hiding behind the candle. So, I've got some of this nature's twine, and normally it's a little thick for me when I'm putting it on cards, but because we're not going to have too many layers to this one, I'm thinking this is going to look really, really good. So what I'll do is, and I think I want to put it right in the middle, so I'm just going to put a couple of some adhesive back there, and we'll do it. That's about midway, Linda says. And I'm going to wrap it, and I'm not going to do it really, really close together. I'm going to fan it out just a little bit. I'm almost at the end of this. Let's see how many twists around I can get with this. And we'll just use it up. Yep, I think that's going to be about it. So, let's make sure I've got everything down and hitting the adhesive, because we certainly wouldn't want that to come loose. We can still play with it a bit, and then this we will prop up so it'll be on there. Ooh, and you know what, guys? Let me see something. I cut out an extra anchor. I wonder if, wow, that barely fits through the hole. This might make a nice little doomaflage to have on there, she says. Well, I probably should have left two ends, but here's what we'll do. I'll do it through there, and then I'll cross it over, and we'll have it. Let's see if that will work. Might need to loosen that up a little bit, but remember, this is going to go on top. Oh, but I kind of like the way that anchor just kind of sticks out a little bit. We're going to leave that there for a minute and just see what that looks like. Now, because I really did use a lot of rows of twine, we may end up having to pop this up, simply because it may not lay flat. So let me bring my card in here and see if because remember, it's also heat embossed. Will it lay? You know, I think we're going to be okay. We'll be okay. So let's glue this down, and I am going to use a liberal amount of glue. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining. Hello, Danette. You know, this set is one that I liked it when I first saw it, but, you know, I got it mostly because it'd be good for masculine cards, right? That's what we were all thinking. But I have, throughout the year, found myself really using this time and time again. Put it on right side up, Linda, for all sorts of things. Like I said, you just saw the candle, so it has worked beautifully for home decor items. And I am just enjoying the heck out of it. All right, now I really want to make sure that I give it a good press all over. But that's laying pretty flat, so I think I like it. Now the nice thing about this is if we decide we don't like that anchor later, it's easy enough to snip the thread. So I'm not losing anything by trying it. Okay, let's work on our sentiment and then we'll be done. Everything's getting away from me today. So this definitely we will pop up. And I really like the way that white pops against the navy. And the anchors in back are just subtle enough. So what I thought we would do is, I've got both my stamps that I want to use. Normally I use 3 stamps. I like 3s. But for this, I think this is gonna, 2's gonna be plenty. So I thought we would just go ahead and have that one there and then do our anchor right below it. Very, very simple. And I'm going to use Night of Navy just to kind of carry through the theme. Ooh, I really got ink all over the place with that one. All right, fingers crossed that Linda gets this on straight, and I do kind of want to get it towards the top so I have room for my anchor. That looks pretty good. And I did not clean my Versamark off of my stamp. It does absolutely no harm to leave it on there, and it helps really pick up the ink, as you can see. It's got something sticky to hold on to. All right, and then my anchor is going to go right there. And let's see. I'm going to bring out my blends. This may be a mistake, but I'm going to use my smoky slate and bring a little bit of gray into this anchor. Just because it's pretty, you know, with just. And one thing to note, if you do use your blends, it will pick up the ink and move it, and I'm okay with that. And you can still wipe off your brush or your blends tip, and it will be fine. But just be aware. But I like the depth that brings to it. Okay? I like it. And obviously, I mean, hubby, you could put Wink Estelle on the anchor and he would be just fine with that because he loves all the pretty flowers and the doodads, the bling. He loves it when I show him cards that look like that. All right, so my anchor here, it might be, I may need to tuck it down a little bit. It's almost at the same level, which I'm not crazy about. So we may end up taking that off. We'll see. But as you can see, I definitely need to pop it up because of the twine that we've got going on. So, but I want to just do, I want to leave room for that, so I'm not going to run a strip all the way down. First I'll do the top and bottom. Well, if I get the right side, crikey, Linda, I really can't see with these glasses. Oh, that is so sad. I'm going to have to go tomorrow to see if, I don't know, they can take the lenses and put them in a different frame for me. Otherwise, it'll be a trip to the optometrist. Alright, so I'm only going to come about that far down. I want to leave plenty of room for that twine. So there and there. I'll take it to about there. I think that'll be fine. One more little piece. I am just trying to make this stuff last because I haven't gotten my order yet It is still in picking. So that means it'll be at the earliest next week before I get it. So I'm having to make everything last just a little bit longer. Oh, you know what? I think I'm also going to put a little bit there and there so it doesn't buckle. No buckling allowed. I did the dumbest thing today. You know, sometimes you just don't know what you've got. We have a beautiful pond out back. Some of you may have seen pictures I posted on Facebook. But we also have a hedge that sits right in front of the deck. And it hadn't been trimmed in over a year. And so the hedge was up so high you couldn't see the pond. So I decided I would get some hedge clippers. And I got a nice pair that was weighted nicely. It had telescoping handles. And I was out there and it occurred to me that the hedge is so wide that I'm only going to be able to reach about 3/4 of the way. Luckily, my brother came over and he said, I told him what I needed, and he said, well, wait a minute. He went out to the garage, rooted around for a few minutes, and guess what we had? We had an electric hedge trimmer. You know, the big long bladed ones. Yep. So that's okay. I got some much needed exercise and enjoyed what I was doing. So, but next time I'll know to call and ask him if before I buy something like that for lawn equipment. I knew he had a lawnmower in there, but I just wasn't too sure about anything else. All right, guys, so what do you think? This is pretty much what it looks like. You know, I do want to get rid of a little bit of that blank space. And these bubbles might work just fine. And I got clear ones, and I've got frosted ones, but I was also thinking I kind of like these silver elements, and I haven't really found a use for them to date. They're just kind of sitting in there. So let's see what we think about using those. Because hubby was in the Navy, and you know, they have rivets and they have all kinds of silvery things. So I'm thinking I might want to use that. So I like that. Let's put one there. I wish they came in different sizes, but they don't. So we'll just kind of make do. And we'll put one there. And then I think I want one more down here. Or maybe I should put one. Ooh! I don't like it on that one. But it might look kind of cool on our other anchor. If I can get it in the right spot. Oh, crikey, that string is just really holding it up. So I kind of like that. But what's your verdict on whether or not I should leave the little cardstock anchor on here? I didn't really think that through. I guess for some reason I thought that the anchor on the, I thought this would come down a little further or something. I don't know what I was thinking. But what do you think? Should we leave the cardstock anchor or should we lose it? Leave it or lose it. Thanks, Kathy. Well, I might just sit and look at it for a bit. Sometimes that's really the only way to know whether or not I should keep something. Let me see if I can balance this at all. Probably not. Don't know if you guys can, how much of that you can see, but I really do like the card with the candle. I think it came out really, really well. And like I said, I will just leave the anchor on there. I mean, we've got, what, a couple weeks at least until Father's Day, so maybe I'll find a smaller anchor to put there, or I don't know, something else. But I do like the idea of having a little dangle off of the twine that's wrapped around the design panel. And yes, you're right, Kathy, I am not mailing it, so thanks, Amy. All right, gang. Well, that is it for tonight. Not too bad. We've only been on for about half an hour. So I will let you get back to your Saturday night. I hope you have a blessed day tomorrow. We will see you for sure next Saturday, same time, same place. In the meantime, remember to stay safe, check on your neighbors, and wash your hands. Bye, y'all.